Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's the Hump Day, and you are watching Kababayan today. This is America's first and only daily talk show for and about the Filipinos. Tayo po ay napapanood sa kabuuan ng Southern California, also all the way in Hawaii. So, kamusta? And aloha to all of you joining us from there. This afternoon on the program, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking to Miss Sara Geronimo, one of my favorite interviewees, very, very accomplished, yet very, very humble. But also, since it's Wednesday, we also have our regular On the Red Carpet segment brought to us by Pacific Rim Video, and also our American Dream segment. There's a lot of misperceptions about the immigration reform bill. We're going to be talking about that today on the show. But also, since it's a Wednesday, let us talk about the news. In the coming days, the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court, is set to make decisions on some very, very controversial cases, including same-sex marriages. Here's a report from CNN.
From now until the end of June, the Supreme Court is expected to rule on big issues: affirmative action and same-sex marriage.
It's almost unimaginable the number of things the Supreme Court is going to decide that affect all Americans in the next month.
First up could be whether public schools can consider race when admitting students. Abigail Fisher sued the University of Texas, arguing she was rejected because she's white.
I hope the court rules that a student's race and ethnicity should not be considered when applying to the University of Texas.
The school says race is one of many factors it uses to achieve diversity on campus. Court watchers say Anthony Kennedy could side with conservative justices to overturn or limit a major Supreme Court decision from 10 years ago that allowed affirmative action. The justices are also dealing with another hot-button issue: same-sex marriage.
From the founding of this country, the marriage was between one man and one woman, and you guys don't want to accept it.
Considering whether California's Proposition 8 ban is constitutional, and in a second case, if the Defense of Marriage Act can deny same-sex couples the same federal benefits as heterosexual ones.
I think it's going to be good.
That case was brought by Edith Windsor, a New York woman who had to pay higher estate taxes after her wife died than someone in a heterosexual marriage would have.
I think it's likely in the Defense of Marriage Act case that the Supreme Court will invalidate the federal law that says we won't recognize state same-sex marriages. But in the California Proposition 8 case, the justices seem unlikely to require under the Constitution every state to recognize same-sex marriage. The ruling may not be a huge gay rights victory at all, but I doubt it's going to be a significant loss either.
Another case involves the kind of genetic testing that led actress Angelina Jolie to undergo a double mastectomy. The court is considering whether human genes, so-called products of nature, can be patented.
Makakaasa po kayo na dito sa Kababayan Today, ihahatid namin sa inyo ang mga desisyon at mga usapin tungkol sa mga issue na yan. Meanwhile, in more news stories, according to a recent report, 70% of the class of 2013 has an average of $35,000 in college-related debt, and the bulk of that will be student loans. And on CNN's Consumer Watch, they talk about a way that graduates may be able to lower the interest rate they're paying on that debt.
It's that time of year. After all the pomp and circumstance, college students are graduating with a mountain of debt. Interest rates are near record lows, so after graduation, borrowers may consider refinancing. Rates on private student loans can be high because they're based on the borrower's credit history, which for most college students is limited. But that can change once they graduate, get a job, and build their credit profile. And switching from a federal to private loan could also mean lower rates if the borrower has good credit. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is warning borrowers to consider the risks before refinancing. Pay attention to the APR. Your monthly payment may be lower, but that may only be because it's a longer-term loan. You may lose your student loan interest tax deduction if the new loan is not considered a student loan. Most federal loans have fixed rates. If you switch to a private loan with a variable rate, be aware your interest rate could rise over time. Federal loans also have benefits that private lenders don't offer, like loan forgiveness for certain professions. The Bureau also says borrowers are currently having trouble finding opportunities to refinance. It's recommending policymakers take steps to make student loan modification more widely available.
Meanwhile, during a recent reception at the White House, the U.S. President Barack Obama had some explaining to do when he ended up with a smudge of a lipstick on his collar. And here's how he got away with that one.
I want to thank everybody who's here, the incredible warmth of the reception. A sign of the warmth is the lipstick on my collar. I have to say, I think I know the culprit. Where's Jessica Sanchez? Jessica, no, it wasn't Jessica, it was her aunt. Where is she? Auntie, right there. Look at this. Look at this. I just want everybody to witness. So, I do not want to be in trouble with Michelle. That's why I'm calling you out. Right in front of everybody.
All right, during his speech that evening, President Barack Obama also talked about some serious topics, most especially immigration reform. And that's what we're going to be talking about when we return on the show, especially some misconceptions and misperceptions concerning immigration reform bills. Stick around for that.